Welcome to e-Padashala. It was a very great pleasure in designing 5 different landforms have been given to us in 5 different areas wherein you have we call them Kurunji hill and surrounding. Kurunji is hill and surrounding. Mullai is a forest and surrounding. Then you have Marudam, which is agricultural land. Then you have Neidal seashore. Then you have Palai, which is a derelict land. See, all the 5 forms of land are available all over the world. But in history, in Sangam period, in Tamil culture, we had developed different lifestyle of the people, different food habits of the people, different living pattern of the people are all there. So we have given an assignment by Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who was a chairperson for this particular committee, and we have been asked to design 5 different gardens of the 5 different things. So we are now going to talk about Kurunji. Kurunji is hill and surrounding. The area is given in the drawing, and this is being located in Yerkad, which is around 40 kilometers, roughly 40 kilometers around from Salem town. You can go by a car, bus or anything. Very interesting place, and this garden also give very interesting one. Number 2 is to understand the lifestyle of the different era people and then use them. We have all over the world, we call it, there are 5 different types of landforms. What are they? Normally we call it hill and surrounding, forest areas, then you have agricultural land, then you have coastal land, then you have derelict land. This is what will happen in most of the area. Okay, if you go to Arctic area and all, you have icelands. But in Indian context or any other country context, we have these 5 forms of land available. But we are going to talk more into an Indian context and more so in Tamil Nadu context, wherein we call the 5 landforms as Kurunji, which is a hill and surrounding. Mullai is a forest area, forest and surrounding area. Marudam is an agricultural area. Then we have Neidal, which is a coastal area. Then we have Palai, which is called as a derelict land, the spoiled land, or something like that. In old days, we call it, Tamil as the oldest spoken language in the world is Tamil. So Tamil has got a different period, we call them, Sangam period, which is almost more than 2000 years back. We are talking about before Christ, and we are talking about much more older days. What was there? How people were living in those days? What is their food? What is their flora, fauna, avifauna? What is their lifestyle? So, in order to recreate that kind of an environment in the present day context was the challenge given to us. So, how are we attack the challenge? How did we give solution to the challenge posed to recreate something which was almost more than 2000, 3000 years back? The Sangam period we call it. So, how are we going to do it? And what are the design parameters we have taken into consideration? How did we achieve to get into this kind of a design? So, we will talk about Kurunji as a first place. Kurunji is, we call this as a genetic heritage garden. Basically, this garden is genetic heritage garden. So, what was there earlier days? So we are talking about theme of the project is something like to create a natural ecosystem as in the Sangam period and enhance the biodiversity, creating a water resource for self-sustenance of landscape development. As we all know, water is the main component for us to live. So how are we going to conserve the water, and what was the technique adopted in old days to conserve the water? How are we going to do it on those terms? Then promote environmental awareness and an education for the public, how to do all those activities. Then natural setting for social interaction. So when we call social interaction, this will be one of the very good picnic spots for the public, number one. Number two, it can be a tourism spot. Number three, it can be more on an education system. Number four, it can be more on a commercial activity. When you start growing things, how are you going to market them in the present day context? So these are all four different things which are all in the light of picture at the present state. So we have identified 5 different locations in Tamil Nadu. We call it Kurunji in Yerkad, which is an hour or 1.5 2 hours journey from Salem town. Then we have Mullai, which is in Sirumalai, which is somewhere near Madurai or Kodaikanal we call it. Then you have Marudam, which is Marudanallur, which is in Kumbakonam. We have something called as Neidal on the shoreline, which is in Thirukadayur. Palai, a derelict land, a real spoiled land in Ramanathapuram district. So these 5 different locations have been identified, and approximately 25 acres of land has been provided to us. So what will be your concept in designing all these things? So we talk about the concept. What is it? We have flora. Talking about flora and Kurunji time, Bengai, Kurunji, Khadalal, Mullai, Thondri, Lily, Lotus, Legastomia species. See, all these species were there in those times. We talk about fauna, tiger, elephant, rabbit, deer, buffalo, giant otter, crocodile, shark, weak elephant, tiger, again the tiger as well. But all these faunas are there. I mean, it's a generation, even our human beings are there from those days. So you cannot say tiger was there and now it is there. But how it was there? Their lifestyle, what was their lifestyle? Their lifestyle basically hamlet, their Padi, Cheri, Parur, Mudulu. These are all different words of their hamlet. Then their folklore. What is their folklore? They have a different dancing pattern, different paddy seeds showing, honey hunting, then guarding the field from birds. See, all these activity, will ultimately give rise to their culture of the people. So what are they? We talk about Kurunji. Kurunji is a lore intertwined with lives of tribal. Both Muttavas and of Munnar or Thodas of Nilgiri consider the following of Kurunji, followers of Kurunji period. And Kurunji is considered as an auspicious flower, and this flower is used for Lord Muruga. Muttavan lore as their god married to Valli. These are all history we are talking about. You can go through, read them. It's a way you have to go about it. Then brief on-site note. This Yerkad site, how is it now? They have identified 3 different locations for us, totally comprising of 25 acres. The first area comprises of parking. Second area comprises of different site location photographs. Second area consists of activity based. Third is historical events. So how are you going to connect all the things? So existing site photographs, there are dances, basic landscape plan, how the plan evolved with lot of activity based. So you can see, we call them recreation zone and genetic park area. So genetic park area, you have their activities you can read through, the main entrance, parking, amphitheater, information center. All these designs, when you go into the design, how are we use them in the today's modern architectural style, taking back to the 2000 era back. Mullai. And I was talking to you, Mullai, I was telling you about a poet coming and reading the poem of 2000 years back. We had this Tolkappiyam, all these very, very old, rich, poems. So these poems got a very clear understanding of what was the culture, what was the vegetation, what was the lifestyle of the people. All those things were there in that. So these people used to read the poem, read everything. Then we used to take the good thing, take whatever is required for us to do the project. See, we have even gone to the level of reading the poem. Okay, this is written in Tamil, but people who know Tamil, this will be an information for you. People who do not know Tamil also can understand that these kind of things did exist 2000 years back. So that is more important to understand. We are talking about Kurunji hill and surrounding. What was the basic interference of this particular project? We were talking about this particular page, which has got Karupporulgal is what we are talking. That is the if I translate it to English, it's the concept. See, basically what we have taken is God, people, birds, animal, village, water source, water availability, their flower, type of trees existed in those days, type of food what they eat. Parai is something to do with their music, yard again is a music, pan is again a music, their occupation, the period. See these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 items what I have given here is repeated in all the 5 gardens, that is 5 types of landform: Kurunji, Mullai, Marudam, Neidal and Palai. So that is the chart given here. So when we talk about Kurunji, you have this, all the things comes up here. We had divided the site into 3 classification. The entry area is divided mainly meant for parking area. So means we have 25 acres of land in Aircard hill station. So we have identified as a genetic park where you have a historic thing happening. Then you have recreation park where people can use the place for recreation purpose. And the third one is car parking area. Details of car parking, number of cars, all those things are given. This one is only mainly, for the people to use the space, that is very important. Then people go to the rose garden, which is the olden area, and you have different classification of this particular garden. Then we come to the genetic park area, then we come to the recreation zone, then genetic park area. So once it is finished, this looks like that. Now it is finished and you can see the same thing happened in the site. Amphitheaters, a walkway with Kurunji flower on the ground, tree houses, so walkway for the tree houses, play area for the kids with the wooden logs and wooden materials, the waterfall, stone seatings, tree walking, caves. Then other area we come to the genetic area where you have the happenings. We call Kurunji, you have somebody playing a Kurunji, you have a bronze statue placed in that area with the music, and you have a interaction center where the music will be played in that place. Then you have an occupation of honey hunting, how a man hunts the honey has been shown in the form of sculptures. Then people guarding their agricultural field, how they guard the tree. And then you have their other activities, a man plucking flower for his lover in the form of a statue, their lifestyle. Then you have their village hamlet. And then they also have their cultural activity like listening to songs and dance while taking food or having a get together. So the events, every event, this is what the site condition now. What we have thought is we will do something like that. This is there in the site as it is. It has been executed like this. And you have a song for this, so people can come there and press the button, you will see the song coming out of the speakers. The same thing how people guard the field from the birds. It's not just throwing the birds are also provided food. You can see in the photograph, birds are also eating the food. It's not that you are throwing away everything. Then people are sitting together and then having a dinner together, how it happened with the song for that. Then their personal life. All these things in the form of statue is there in the site. We had an artist sitting in our office and then doing this painting in the live form. So we use the real painting here for the purpose of using it on the project. So you can see the painting with the people using the yard. It's an olden equipment for music purpose. Then we are talking about their species. You can read the species. Then we had lot of meeting with the higher officials. Everybody contributed in this project because this very prestigious project for the city. So every suggestion given by every individual has been taken into consideration and design was arrived out of that. Then from there, this thing we are taking in terms of eco-friendly materials, solar energy using, plastic banning, recycle, reuse, reduce, and afforestation. These are the basic 5 points used in the project. And then we are talking about what are the different plant material of Kurunji, different grains of Kurunji, different utensils used by the people at 2000 years back. Then we are talking about research and other thing on the present day context. Herbal garden with the every plant names and everything labeled so that people understand what it is. Then ecosystem. Pet animals, some of the plant species in the Sangam literature. The same plant material photographs. Again same thing. We have the Sengandal. Sengandal is nothing but it's a state flower. Having designed such a beautiful landscaping for Kurunji in the hill and surrounding, we have seen lot of inputs coming up in the form of poets, in the form of painting, in the form of sculptures, and then land setting. And people, when they come here in this particular area, they will really understand the entire topography is changed to suit the Kurunji culture. We have also provided some of the millets which were used in that area as a selling point in this particular location. Plus, you also thinking in terms, we are also providing shops and then kiosks and then eateries where people will eat those kind of food which was there in 2000 years back. So we are trying to change or bring back the culture what was there 2000 years back, and people to enjoy this particular, and almost everything is there. You have a park, you have an open space, you have a rock area, you have a toilet facility, you have a shops, you have a localized their cultural touring exhibition spaces, everything is there. So people really come and enjoy the place. You have to must visit this particular place one day or other. Thank you.